Hi, my name is Rick Howell. I'm a TV guy, and this show is called Talk Back to Television. It's about the business of television, how we make the programs, how we distribute the programs, and mostly how we pay for the programs. Because if we can't pay for the shows, there's nothing to watch. Stay tuned. Good morning. This is Talk Back to Television, and I am here with Nicole Meade, and I'm going to read and make sure I get her title correctly. She is Senior Director of Digital Political Sales for Gray Television. Did I get that right?
You did. You got it right.
See that? Okay. Nicole, where are you speaking to us from?
In Virginia.
You've been at Gray now for 6-ish months. Did I see that right? Okay. And you came out of the broadcast television advertising space, but now you're in digital.
Correct.
So I want to know, first of all, what's the difference?
There's a lot. There's a big difference.
I mean, the media on broadcast is linear television broadcast, right?
Right. I think the biggest difference is that in linear, we're still using GRPs.
Okay.
The switch to impressions has not fully been made yet. I know they keep talking about it. We're hoping in 2024, but I think that's the biggest difference is now just dealing with a lot more just impressions.
Okay, so we were talking about my friend Evan Tracy, who works with the RNC, so he buys a lot of political advertising. What exactly does he come to you to buy? What's the media? Where does the consumer see the advertising that you sell him?
So I sell all of Gray's core products, which is all of the station's websites, their weather app, their news app, and then all the CTV apps. And then Gray also has what we call Gray Extension, where we can also sell outside of our DMAs, help clients with email marketing, paid social, YouTube, Premium. So there's quite a list, not just what we own and operate.
So you become essentially a marketing agency.
Correct. Yes, exactly.
Your clients, you're selling your inventory, but you're helping your clients build out their media plans.
You said it great. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. All right.
Don't take my job, Rick. Don't take it.
I am not taking your job. I am not by any stretch of the imagination. Okay. You're specializing in political. Now, I would assume right now you're not real busy, but you are getting ready for the rush, right?
Right. That's correct. We're going and meeting with the agencies. We've never had anybody in this position. So most of the agencies, since I actually worked as a buyer for the last 10 years in the political space. So I'm familiar with most of the agencies. So just going out and meeting people and, telling them we have someone in this position and, pitching it basically and seeing and asking a lot of questions, how they like to transact, what they want to see, research. And then based on the political knowledge that I have is, just making sure at Gray internally, we have the processes set up so that we can do things fast at that pace of political.
Now, does Gray have stations in Ohio?
Yes.
Did you have a lot of activity on that most recent vote? Not really call it an election.
Not digitally.
Okay. Now, if a buyer comes to Gray, they're going to go to folks over in the broadcast team first, probably, and then you're going to coordinate on the digital side.
Correct.
Okay. We are not yet in the world of digital first.
Not yet.
Okay. I mean, you know what?
It depends on the campaign.
Want to get there.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the campaign. I know there are candidates or PACs that digital might be the first, especially when it comes to fundraising. But from where I sit and when I meet with the agencies that I'm meeting with, broadcast is usually first. But that could be different depending on the budget too.
Yeah. Now you mentioned fundraising. It's interesting as I remember the conversations that I've had. Political advertising tends to have a handful of pretty specific objectives. One is get people to go vote for your candidate/issue. Number two, get donations. But number three, have them turn out in some physical form. Turn out to a rally, turn out to a convention, those kinds of things. Now, it seems that digital has more oomph when it comes to what those objectives are.
Right.
I mean, broadcasting sort of brand out to everybody. You've got more capabilities.
Right, because we can geofence around, rallies or voting centers, and just the ability to target more specifically is a big selling point.
Do you have anybody who's yet figured out the need to use on digital? I know can't really be done on broadcast yet. To use one message for me and one message for you, if we're in the same market. Can we do that digitally?
You mean same party, right?
Yeah, same party, but they will deliver to me a message about one thing and deliver you to a message about another thing.
Yes. Yes. You need like run multiple creatives. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, multiple creatives targeted.
Well, and the best part of that too is that what we can do at Gray, we can do internally is we have dashboards built out that clients and AEs can go in and we can see creatively what, by the creative itself, where it's running, what device it's on, what websites it's on, and then you can check the click-through rate and see like which creative is performing better maybe. So maybe we want to add more money to that one and take off the other one.
And what you just mentioned about the click-through gets right to my point about getting money and getting somebody's contact information or email address so they can take those other steps. You don't got that on broadcast.
Right.
Sorry, guys, at least not yet.
No, I mean, I will say, it's funny because selling digital for a broadcast company, there's a fine line, but our local news has such a high reach, that's sort of what we sort of like, kind of the sales pitch is also like, we have all these people watching the news, but they also go to the websites and they're downloading the app. They're watching it on their CTV. It's
they're
almost
picking
like
up the weather when the news isn't on. Big.
Right. Like our weather app has crazy impressions. So it's, because everybody wants to know the weather, so it's almost a nice extension of the linear buy. That's how I look at it.
All right, we're going to run out of time, but I want to come down to a little bit of the process. You're a broadcast specialist who made the transition to digital.
I did, yeah.
And it sounds like your previous experience is valuable to help you understand the needs of the buyers, right?
I think that's why I was hired. Yep, exactly.
And do the buyers, do they think of digital? That's probably a simplification, but they're looking at broadcast first. Is digital an afterthought, or is digital them saying, I can get this other piece of stuff that can give me better information, better targeting, and real results?
What we're seeing is that the agencies where they may have been siloed off with broadcast and digital, they're coming together and creating the plans together. So it's not like years ago, we have extra dollars, let's run it in CTV. Like where now it's like, no, like we need to this really needs to be a part of the plan. Like to Evan's point, like at the end, when it gets really busy, a lot of times that's when a lot of money comes down and, they run out of inventory and they're like, let's put it on CTV, where now we see that is starting much earlier and we are a part of the discussion from the beginning.
Got it. And by the way, you were referring to my friend Evan Tracy. I don't think we talked about him on screen, but he had told me the degree to which political advertising is a sale that ends on one day and there's no more sale. And right up at the end, everybody's got this budget. They got to spend that budget. They have to make pretty quick decisions. And frankly, they need to know, this is where I think digital has an advantage. They need to know at 5 o'clock on Monday before Election Day Tuesday. They need to know at 5 o'clock on Monday what's working. So they make the decision. Do they push that one forwards, right? Or do they switch over? Digital is the only format, platform, environment where you've got that information like that.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
It's a big deal. I'm excited to see how that plays out. I mean, we have a couple states that are active, that are busy now. So I'm curious to get case studies from that and see how, you know, just, you know, it'll help next year too.
Yeah. All right. Well, guess what? We are out of time, but Nicole Meade from Gray Television, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Rick.
We're going to have to check back and see how you're doing.
Okay. Before it gets too busy.
Well, yeah, we'll try to do it sometime other than the Monday.
I'm just kidding. We got to.
All right. And we'll see everybody next week on the next Talk Back to Television. Thank you all.
Yeah. Outside DC.